Welcome to the Rocker Mike and Rob Presents show. I am Rocker Mike, and that is Rob Rossi, top right. How you doing, Rob? Okay, we have a very special show today. We're talking about things I love talking about, bars and Irish pubs and all that stuff. We have the two gentlemen here that own Donovan's Pub in Woodside, Queens. That is Jimmy Jacs, left on the bottom, and Dan Connor, bottom right. How you doing, guys?
Doing great. How's
awesome.
everything?
How are you?
All right, cool. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. And it's an important time for you guys. The Queens Chamber of Commerce just named you guys the best bar in Queens. So congratulations with that.
Yeah, we're riding the wave right now.
Yeah. I've been saying it for years. I mean, my history with your place goes back to like the late 80s. Okay.
Yep.
And I've always said you're like the best Irish pub in Queens, if not one of the best bars in Queens. I'm glad the Chamber of Commerce actually finally picked up on it, for God's sake.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great.
So you've been going there. You've been going there since Jimmy started working there back in the 80s.
85.
That's when Jimmy started.
Wow.
I think the first time I went in there might have been 84, 85, something like that. Yeah, I went in with a cousin of mine that was a few years older, and we used to go there. He lived in Ozone Park. We would take the ride over there. And back then, the place was smaller. You didn't have that extra dining room on the side. And you were cash only, which was nice. Yeah. Okay. And but you've expanded over the years. We could talk about that after. You have that extra dining room on the side. You now take credit cards and everything. So that's cool. The world we live in today, everybody wants.
You know what the problem is? Everybody got to take credit card. International didn't take credit card for years, and now you have to. The kids at night have no money at all.
They don't carry cash. They don't carry cash.
Yeah.
First thing we did when we took over, we had to.
Yeah. Actually, the first thing we did was put security cameras in, and then
yeah.
Now, just so you guys know, Rob is a bartender at the International Bar in the East Village on First Avenue. And he's been there for a long time. You guys are all kind of in the same business, so you can relate. Let me ask you, the two of you, when did you start running it exactly? When did it change over to you guys?
January 20th, 2013.
Yep.
Okay, so it's been 12 years already. Wow.
Yeah, we signed the agreements and the papers in December of 2012 with a turnover date of January 20th. So Joe had his last hurrah. Joe Donovan had his last hurrah on that Friday night. And we took over on the Saturday, January 20th, which happens to be the feast day of St. Sebastian, which is the school right across the street that Jimmy and I both graduated.
The church right there as well. Yeah.
Worked out well for us.
Very familiar with it. I back in the 90s, my early 90s, my first wife came from 55th Street, right off of Roosevelt there. So we would always be around it. She went to St. Sebastian's and all that, so I know the area very well. Are you guys local guys pretty much, or you Queens guys?
Never left Woodside.
Woodside guys, born and raised.
Woodside guys. All right, excellent.
POW. I was a prisoner of Woodside. Yeah, my whole life, never left.
Right. Let me ask them a question. How did the pandemic? What you guys did during the pandemic? Did you guys close down, or were you guys doing booths to go? What were you guys doing during that time?
We did a little bit of everything. We stayed open for the most part. We were doing takeout. We were doing booze to go, absolutely. But the main thing we did was we partnered with a group called Feed the Front Lines, New York City, which a family that owns a couple of Italian restaurants in Midtown started. And they were providing meals to hospital workers and frontline workers in Manhattan. And when we heard about them, we reached out to them, sent them an email, said, if you ever want to expand to Queens, we would love to get involved. And sure enough, they did some research on us, looked into us, and said, yeah, let's do it. And we ended up doing, thousands and thousands and thousands of meals to hospitals around Queens, Long Island, and people that know us saw that what we were doing, so they started making, direct donations. Like people that had friends that worked in hospitals or family that worked in hospitals would call us and say, hey, I want to send 100 meals to my daughter's work. Will you guys do it? And all that kind of stuff. And then that's what really helped get us through it for the most part until the second wave when it hit again, and then a friend of ours stepped in. Jimmy, you want to tell him about the GoFundMe that Gary set up?
Yeah, so he had contacted us about doing a GoFundMe, and me and Dan were like, nah, we'll figure it out. But he did it anyway. A buddy of ours, Gary Smith, started a GoFundMe, and it was overwhelming. Everybody just jumped all over it. And and we owe it to them. They saved Donovan's, really. I mean,
Wow.
it was amazing.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that was a tough time for everybody. The whole restaurant bar business was in disarray. I mean, so it really, a lot of it never really came back. You had to have, smart business sense like you guys did to really be able to stay in business. I was working in the city at the time, and I was a Verizon tech, and I watched a lot of these bars in the East Village just fall apart with this. It was sad.
Yeah, we closed
it was
down.
tough. I'm sorry, Rob.
We closed down for a while for a good.
Yeah.
We closed down for, I think, 2 months.
I think it was 2 months. Yeah.
Then we got the loan. Then we just set up a window, and we were selling drinks out the window from 10 to 10, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had we had the front door open, but then a barricade, and you can only walk up to that counter there. And we'd have one waitress working and a couple of guys in the kitchen, and do what we just did whatever we could.
Yeah, we were just figuring it out day by day, like what we could do.
Yeah. But I will say one of the other things we did, and believe me, it's terrible. We're very lucky. We know how lucky we are that we got through that, because we did see so many places in our neighborhood close and throughout. Yeah, one of the other things we did was, I figured there was things we didn't know about. So we joined the New York State Restaurant Association in May of 2020, right in the middle of all this. Yeah. And that helped a lot because, they helped us get through a lot of the paperwork that you need to do to get the PPP. They got us in touch with the Queens Chamber of Commerce, and Steve Cohen, who owns the Mets, was giving out $20,000 grants, which really helped out. We're lucky for the way we got through it.
Yeah. And just, you mentioned the Mets real quick. I mean, Donovan's is situated in such a great spot on 58th Street and Roosevelt. You got the 7 train right there. And it's always a destination for people before the Met games. I used to do that all the time. It's a good spot for that. And, just to give a little history of Woodside, too. I mean, Woodside's always been an Irish neighborhood. And there's been times it's been a little more Irish than others, and the immigration's trickled in and out over the years, and it's still flourishing as a dominantly Irish neighborhood for the most part. You guys still get all the old school Irish in there, right? I see it all the time.
Oh
yeah, enough, but you see a lot of other most not as much Irish as we used to. Definitely not. Yeah.
You think it's declining a little bit again?
I think it's transitioning more than anything. I don't know if it's we still have plenty of Irish people that are coming in, but those are mostly people coming back to the neighborhood for the most part. They're coming back and visiting a lot of times to go to a Met game, right? Because a lot of people that moved down to the island. We also have the Long Island Railroad right there, 2 blocks away. So people just railroaded in. Our demographics have significantly changed, as have you look at the school of the church, it's changed.
Of course.
But we're busier than we've ever been since we've taken over, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every time you go in there, I go in there. I try to get in there once every month or every 2 months at the least, and you're always packed, all the time. So
we're doing a lot of different things, which I think helps. You have to give people a reason to come in, right? Mm-hmm. And we've definitely upped our food game. We've upped our drink game, no doubt about it. But the live music we're doing every weekend does a great thing. We do our open mic night once a month, draws in a bunch of people. We do trivia. When the football season's in play, our Sunday Fun Day is a great day. So we're always trying to do different things. We have comedy night next week coming up. Right.
I mean, I see a lot of open mic stuff. Yeah.
How about the Knicks, man?
Knicks are helping. Yeah. I mean, Mets are definitely the moneymaker, but the Knicks help. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Knicks could go to the finals, man. That's a
that would be huge.
That'd be fun, man. Yeah.
So Jimmy, you used to work at Donovan's prior to owning. What was your capacity there?
Yeah, so I used to work across the street at Woodside Deli, and all my friends worked in Donovan's, and I was dying to get
This
over
is when he
there.
was in high school, by the way.
Yeah, 15. So I was a sophomore. So I was over across the street about 13, 14. And then, I finally got in and did a couple of years on the floor, bus boy. And then I went to the back service bar. And then at 19, two guys in the front, two main guys were let go. And they threw me out to the Lions. It was
Oh, boy.
I was 19 years old. I mean, you can imagine what I look like I was 12. They threw me up there, and I was behind there. I think then, what did I go? About 2 years into owning it. I did a little over.
Yeah, you still worked the front bar for a couple years after we took over.
Yeah, and then. Did 30.
I never wanted him to, just so you know, I never wanted him to leave the front bar. And even when we took over, Joe Donovan said to me, "You got to do what you can to keep Jimmy back there. He's a moneymaker. He's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
People come in for him."
I loved it. I love people. I love talking to people. It was
Well, let me give a special shout out to your guy Chris Santangelo.
Yep, he's texting me right now. My phone's beeping.
Oh, okay. He's a great guy. We had him on the podcast because he does a little acting and stuff like that. So we talked about his bartending and his acting, and he's a Woodside guy too. Great guy, and he introduced me to both you guys. So I appreciate him.
Yeah, Chris is he's one of my closest friends.
He's a lifelong friend. We grew up with Chris.
Yeah, Little League together. Yeah.
Wow.
This is a good.
Let's back up a little bit. I'd like to have the viewers get a little sense of the history of Donovan's. It goes back quite a few decades. I don't know which one of you guys want to talk about, but when did the bar actually open?
Yeah, Dan, you're good with that.
Sure, yeah. It opened as Donovan's in 1966. It was a bar called the Clover Leaf before that. And in 1966, Joe Donovan, who was at the time a police officer, decided he wanted to try to open a bar somewhere. And he saw the Clover Leaf was up for sale. You couldn't be a New York City police officer and own a bar at that time. Right. So he transferred to the fire department, became a New York City firefighter, and opened Donovan's with his dad in 66. And at that time, it was literally just the bar and half of that first little dining room. And that was it. Wow. There was a pool table back there. And he didn't have anything. And, the business wasn't doing great. They had a bookmaker that was kind of running the show in there, and Joe wanted to clean the place up. He threw the bookmaker out.
Yeah, the rough place.
He bought a rough and tumble place. He said he had to. He said he used to tell stories about how he'd have to take people outside and fight them. To take control of his bar. And he would he would put his wife and others up in the front by the big windows and offer free champagne to the ladies to come in, and that's how he started getting guys in because the ladies weren't getting that free champagne.
My father who owned it thought he was nuts.
They all thought he was nuts giving stuff away, right?
It worked,
but it turned out to be great. And he slowly expanded over the years, especially through the 70s. But when he first expanded that first dining room, knocked down the walls into the store next door, that store was a factory. And they were making little rubber shoes for Barbie dolls in the 60s. Wow. Barbie explodes. Barbie gets huge. So that factory has to move to a bigger place. And that's Joe's first opportunity to expand. And he said when they were building that dining room, they found little rubber shoes all over the place on the floor and all that kind of stuff. And that's when they put their first kitchen in, which is where the dishwasher room is now. And all they did was burgers. And that's how they got on their map for burgers. And then over the 70s and 80s, he started building those other dining rooms to the back and really expanding the place. Then he bought Bayside, right? He opened the location in Bayside.
Right.
And he sold Bayside about 7 or 8 years before he sold Woodside to us. And,
that Bayside one didn't last too long overall in Bell Boulevard.
He was doing well out there. But you know what it was? And his daughter was running the shop for the most part. Yeah. Right. And they did really great with catering. They had a couple of really big rooms out there. And his big advantage out there was they had that parking lot across the street. So out on Bell Boulevard, there's nowhere to park.
Right.
Huge advantage for him. He had the parking lot, right? So, and to show you what kind of businessman is, he sold Bayside to the guys that own Louis out in Louis of Manhasset. And when he sold them the restaurant, he didn't sell them the parking lot. He kept renting them the parking lot. so he still kept getting money off of it. No
he was still in the game over there. All right, that's good.
Yeah, he's still in the game for sure.
That is genius.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
and then when he put
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Then he put Donovan's Woodside up for sale. He put Woodside up for sale, and he was getting all these offers. And Jimmy and I used to talk about it all the time. We talk at Thanksgiving. I'm married to Jimmy's sister. We would talk about it at Thanksgiving, you know, because I would DJ the night before Thanksgiving at Donovan's, and Jimmy and Santangelo would be behind the bar. And we'd get together the next day and talk about how great of a night it was, and wouldn't it be awesome to own it someday. But when he put it up for sale, we didn't even think about it because, you know, we both were starting our careers. We both had our full-time jobs. And but then he started getting offers in of all these people that were going to turn it into something else. Someone wanted to turn it into a supermarket. Someone wanted to turn it into a bank. Someone wanted to knock it into 5 different stores. And, you know, we said, no, we can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. And, yeah, we started reaching out to people, see if anybody wanted to invest. We couldn't really get anybody. Then Jimmy's father-in-law, Mr. Capel, God bless him, said, you know what, he'll jump in and help financially with the building. And I wrote Joe a letter, sent it to him with our offer via FedEx as I was getting on a plane to London for my day job. And a couple of days later, it's like 2 a.m. in London, and my cell phone is ringing, and it's Jimmy. Not realizing it's 2 a.m. in London. He's in Woodside. I say, hey, it's 9 o'clock. What's the problem? Joe just called me. He accepted our offer. I'm like, that's great. I'm going to sleep. And I just
woke up that it was a nightmare.
Oh God! And your world was never the same afterwards.
Never
right?
the same.
Yeah.
Never the same.
Wow. Now you mentioned back in the day that they just made burgers. Okay. And of course, today the menu is pretty extensive. I mean, it always was an excellent menu, at least when I first started going there. Typical pub food, burgers, steaks, chicken cutlets, mashed potatoes, you know, all that stuff. But the burgers is something that you got to talk about for a second because
you know me, I'm a big eater.
What's that?
I'm a big eater. You might have to take me there for a burger.
No, I will take you there. Okay, Rob lives in the city. It's hard to get him to go anywhere, but I will definitely get him out there.
I go to a place. I go to Corner Bistro. I go to Peter McManus, which Irish. I guess.
Yeah,
Irish
that's a good spot.
Pretty good.
That's a good spot. But getting back to the burgers, I think you guys are the best like I've ever had. Anyway,
thank you.
You know, and I mean, I know people that just go to Donovan's for the burgers. That's the draw.
What's in the burger?
It's the draw, and sometimes it drives us crazy because we've really added some really awesome stuff to this menu, and we've got some great people in the kitchen now doing some really great work. And these people come in, and people that I've known my whole life, including family, who are still just ordering. Try something else, man. Try something.
He's like, the burger's killing us. He goes, nobody knows we got great salmon and
an amazing menu. Yeah.
What else is on the menu that's good that you would recommend? If it's not the burger, what do you guys recommend?
Yeah. Well, Danny's recipe for we got a chicken pot pie is out of control.
I like chicken pot pie.
You know, our shepherd's pie has always been a staple.
Shepherd's pie is fantastic.
Do you use lamb? Do you use lamb? Lamb is
beef. It's beef. I know lamb is the traditional, but we use beef.
That's authentic, that one. But I mean, we're known for our clams, our French onion soup. But my wife's always saying we got the best salmon anywhere we go. You know, we got chicken francaise. We got chicken marsala. We do. Yeah, Dan, go ahead. Throw in some others. What else?
I'm going to tell you right now. You want the best bargain in all of New York City. You come into our place and have the strip steak. You have that. You have the New York strip steak.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, at $29.95, the quality of this steak, any place else is selling for $60. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
That we're selling for.
Yeah, margins are tight.
Now, one thing that I remember, and you don't have it on the menu anymore. That's how far back this goes. You guys used to have a kick-ass Romanian steak.
No, we were just talking about that.
Oh man, that was to die for.
Right,
man.
that was my favorite. We're bringing it back. I'm telling you.
Well, you bringing it back?
We're just talking about.
We are bringing it back.
Oh, you gotta bring it back.
It's been a long time. That was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Wow.
And, we're gonna.
We might have to go there for a steak dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, definitely, man.
No
Definitely.
Tell us when you want to come in, man. Let's go.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
We'll definitely hang out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now flash forward to 2025. You've had the business now for 12 years, and Chamber of Commerce announces you're the best bar in Queens. How'd that all go down? What'd you think of that? I mean, how did you all that work?
That's a big honor.
Yeah, it feels good after all the time we put in the hard work. You're right.
Yeah.
But again, everybody voted for us. We thank everybody. You know, like
that was a vote. That was a vote. That's not a Queens awesome. Chamber decision.
You know?
Oh, that was a real vote. Okay,
public vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
We did our part, and everybody else did theirs, man. Yeah, they voted.
And we're the first 2-time winner of their polls because they've done a few best ofs over the last 5 years, or the last 3 years actually, and we've won best burger, which we figured we had a shot at, right? Because we're always in that conversation. The best bar one we were hoping, and we got that too. It was pretty. I'm going to throw a plug out the place that finished right behind us, Near's Tavern, over in Woodhaven. Phenomenal place, great owner. Loyson over there is a great owner, great staff. And after we won, Loyson brought his team in. They came in for lunch, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think third was the Claret over in Sunnyside.
Claret Wine Bar in Sunnyside.
I haven't been there in a long time. Yeah, the one in Sunnyside. That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
For people that don't know, Near's Tavern in Woodhaven is also sometimes known as the Goodfellas Bar.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
that's where they shot a lot of scenes in Goodfellas in there. When you go in there, they got a bunch of framed pictures and all that stuff. It's really a neighborhood spot. It's really it's always been a neighborhood spot.
Great vibe there.
Great people.
Yeah,
great people.
That's cool.
You know, let me ask you a question, because now are you guys offering a cocktail? Because that's like the new thing. You got to put a fucking cocktail out there. Espresso martini, all this shit these people are drinking now. It's like, what happened to being a shot? It's like espresso martini, Negroni, this, and it's insane.
Yeah,
Jimmy comes up with new martinis. We actually have a Mettini that Jimmy came up with, for the Mets. Jimmy does the drink menus.
Yeah. So I mean, Guinness is our big one, but we do some.
Guinness is on fire right now with that split the G. Everybody trying to
split the G.
Doing a shirt like that, split the G.
Yeah, because I went from doing it's insane. We went from doing like maybe 4 kegs of Guinness to now we gotta do 10 a week. It's insane. Like,
we definitely doubled that too. Yep.
And I hate to say that we do have one of the best Guinness in the East Village, I think, other than Split.
Yeah.
I mean, the key is keep your lines clean, right? Keep those lines clean.
That's what we do. Yeah.
I get them clean once a month. Just come in there, clean them out, and that's all you need. But also, when you pour so much beer, you don't got to do it that much. But I'd rather have it done once a month.
Make sure we do it.
It's a total difference. It's a game changer.
You're right.
I'm a tremendous Guinness guy. That's the only beer I drink, pretty much. And I'm a Guinness and Irish whiskey drinker sometimes together. Okay, so it's you guys have like what you'd expect. I mean, I actually my favorite Irish whiskey is Powers, and whenever I see and a lot of bars that are good bars and they try to have even if an Irish pub, they don't always have Powers. Okay,
we do.
And you do absolutely. Yeah. I always judge a ball by that. Like, you guys are carrying Powers. Okay, I'll hang out in here.
This is a good one. Yeah.
Powers underrated, man. Powers pretty. Also, Patty's Irish whiskey.
Tullamore too is big. Tullamore.
Tullamore is big now too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I like Redbreast. I think it's one of the best.
We got that. That goes too.
In Ireland, it's in Ireland. Actually, Redbreast is right now the leading selling whiskey in Ireland.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
I was just there, so I know.
when you get into the Irish whiskeys, I'm just gonna opine here for a second. When you get into the Irish whiskeys, like I have over the last decade or so, you realize that Jameson is shit. I'm just going to say it, all right? Because and
we sell more of it than anything, though.
I know. it's the go-to
number one. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's kind
It's
of
the go-to
like when
is-
Absolute happened. Like Absolute was the big vodka.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like, oh, that's like,
Now
wow.
it's Tito's.
nobody wants it.
Marketing,
Yeah,
marketing.
exactly that. Yeah.
Tito's is the big one. So much Tito's because we only have two vodka. We got Tito's or Absolute, and then whatever's on the well.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we got
vodka's come a long way from, one or two types. I mean, when I was growing up, everybody had a
You
bottle
can't
of
keep the Tito's. It's turning over
Georgie in
so
the
much.
house,
It's out of
or
control.
something.
Georgie or Smirnoff was a
Smirnoff, right. Then in the 90s, you had all the flavored vodkas were big. The
Pinnacle.
That's what we
Had
call it,
everything. They had
Oh, you got the
Pinnacle
Deep Eddies,
pineapple,
like that,
Pinnacle apple, Pinnacle cream.
Now
Yeah.
you can't give that stuff away now.
No.
Nobody's drinking that flavored vodka.
Nah, that's not really selling much.
No.
Yeah. But
Then it was the bourbons, right?
yeah,
The
Bourbons are hot now. Bourbons and tequila.
Bourbons had their run.
You know
Now
what's
it's
hot?
tequila.
Tequila
Now it's
and
tequila.
mezcal. Mezcal is hot. Tequila and mezcal are very
Mezcal,
hot.
Yeah, things change. It's weird.
It's people, they get into these fads,
Mhm.
and I mean, who would have think that Guinness would be the best-selling beer in the world right now?
I worked 30 plus years
unbelievable.
behind the bar. I just started drinking it not long ago. Like it just looked heavy to me, and I was like, and then
It's
actually
actually-
smoother than no carbonation.
There's a big false mythology behind Guinness. Okay,
Mhm.
first of all, everybody thinks it's like fattening. It's not. It's actually got less calories than a Budweiser.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
It's got less alcohol. Okay, so that automatically makes it closer to a light beer. All
Mhm.
right,
Yep.
and it actually has nutritional value. It's like high in iron. All right.
Yep.
Back in the days, like in Ireland, they would give it to anemic women.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
That,
I hear a glass of Guinness a day is good for a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
that's what I
There's
heard.
truth to that. Okay, and I it's for years I've been drinking it, but some people are like, oh, how do you drink that? I guess it's an acquired taste.
I was just gonna say, everybody said it
It
was
is.
an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Acquired taste, maybe a little bit.
But beer is an acquired taste.
No,
I say, yeah.
yeah, you're right. That's true. No,
Yeah, because like IPAs, like me, if I drink an IPA, I can only drink one or two because
you nailed it. I was gonna say that it's good, but I can have one, two.
You know,
Yeah.
I usually don't like the taste of them. I mean, they might be higher alcohol content, which could work. But as far as the taste of a lot of IPAs, I don't like. I did try something recently for the first time. I don't think you guys carry this, but it's Guinness Foreign Stout. Have you heard that?
Foreign stout.
We don't carry it, but I've had it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It comes in like a 4-pack bottles in a 4-pack. Okay. I don't know if anybody has it on tap anywhere. I've never seen it, but 4-pack, the alcohol content is 7.5.
wow.
So you're talking like it's almost twice a Guinness.
Yeah.
Twice a regular, almost. Okay. And it has a little bit of a slightly more bitter taste, but not too much. But I drank 4 of them like 2 weeks ago. I was like, whoa, all right. Guinness never did this to me.
Guinness, you got to wait and do the whole Guinness thing?
Well, if it's on tap, obviously. This isn't, they're selling it in bottles,
Bottles.
Bottles.
White, I think it's like a white label, a tannish, whitish label on the bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, it had like an orange label to it also, I think. Almost the Guinness color, but a little more orangey.
You know what sells a lot now? That Guinness Zero.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing that tastes to Guinness. It actually tastes.
You might have to check that,
It does.
I think we're going to have to add it, Jimmy. People are asking for it.
Yeah, okay, definitely.
But
Well,
that Guinness Zero, it's like we sell so much, and we sell about we sell Guinness for $9. The Guinness Zero we sell for $8 because it's as good as Guinness.
That's not bad for the city, huh?
Yeah.
No.
But
I've seen Guinness's,
right?
Huh?
You go in Midtown, Guinness is $13.
Oh, yeah. No, we try to keep it cheap. We make the price somewhere else. Like we'll have like a cocktail for $16 so we can sell the Guinness. It's the same thing like the beer. Our cheapest beer, Budweiser, we do $4 per can. Bottles are $6. But then we have then like if you want like our cheapest draft beer is $7, then it's $8 and $9 is the IPAs and the Guinness.
Gotcha.
Then like Modelo, Stella, all $8, which is not bad for the city. We're in
Not
East
at all, man.
Village. We
Yeah,
got a bunch of bars. You
definitely good.
you gotta compete, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our pints are imperial pints, though. We do 20 ounce.
Oh yeah, that's what we do
Right.
with Guinness. Guinness is an imperial pint. That's the only imperial pint.
So you do $9 imperial pints?
Yeah, for Guinness. That's why it's a great deal.
Yeah.
For the city, that's amazing. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like that for a long time.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say is, Rob brought up like different drink specials and stuff like, special martinis, things like that. What do you guys have that kind of fit that category? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, we got one named after my sister, his wife, Jenna's Dream, right? We got, just some, I think that one consists of vodka and, it's almost like a screwdriver, OJ, some juices. Yeah, the Martini is, it's blue chorus out to get the blue, and then vodka. I got what else? Sour mix. It's basic, with big orange on it. So the orange.
You get a lot of Negroni. Negronis are so popular right now.
We don't. We really don't.
Not there.
Because anybody who does the Negroni is Chris Santos.
Oh, he can make one, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a Negroni guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably don't get that.
We don't get a call for those though. No.
Yeah, we get a lot of Negroni. It's like the old and another drink that came back that a lot of people are ordering old fashions.
Old fashions.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
And Manhattans too.
Manhattans too. Old fashioned Manhattan.
Yeah, I made those back in the day a lot. Old fashioned. A guy Kevin come in all the time drinking those, and never made old fashions. And now they're big time.
They're all over now.
They came back. Yeah,
it's like me when I think of a martini, I never think of a vodka martini. I like the gin martini. I like a nice gin martini. Dirty, Tangerine.
Dirty martini. Yep.
Dirty martini.
Absolutely.
Just like my women.
And I can vouch for that. I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, martinis you like fresh,
Yeah.
One's not enough, three are too many.
Ooh, yeah.
Exactly. So oh God, I totally was. Oh, okay, now I remember what I was going to say. Is I got to ask you guys a question. This is going back to the 90s because it was something that was bugging me for a while. I used to come in when I worked in the area. I worked out of the Woodside garage at Verizon. Okay, back when that was over on it was like 30th Avenue. I forget where it was. Somewhere over on the other side of Northern. Okay.
Yep, on the other side.
And we would come in at lunchtime because you guys. This is before you owned it. When Joe still owned it, you guys used to have like a special where if you sat at the bar and drank, this is during lunchtime. Okay, you'd get like a $2.50 pastrami sandwich, something like that. Okay, and you guys had a bartender there that I used to talk with this guy all the time, and he would get me lumped up, and I cannot remember his name. He was an older guy.
Jesse Kinsella.
Jesse.
Yes.
Jesse.
Yes.
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Jesse's still with us.
Is he?
Yeah.
Not working with us. He's still alive.
Yeah. Because he was a little up there before.
His legs gave out. He put in a long time behind us.
Me and Jesse had a lot of laughs together at 1:00 in the afternoon. It was good times.
Yeah, Jesse's a good guy.
Jesse worked for us for a year when we took over, and then he retired.
Okay.
And thank God he did, because like I said, we had regular jobs. What we know about running a freaking restaurant when we took this over, So people like Jesse who had been there forever really helped us, understand what some of the day-to-day stuff had to be, what had to get done,
Right, and he was kind of a bridge from before the older times to when you guys took over.
Yeah, definitely helped.
Some of Jesse's family was in a couple of weeks ago. They were getting together as some of his nephews, and one of his nephews plays in one of the bands that plays in our place, the Tipsy Gypsies. It's funny you mentioned before Guinness and a shot that they're the Tipsy Gypsies, and when they're playing, they both have a Guinness and a shot next to them.
Oh yeah.
Other than I know at St. Patrick's time, you guys do a lot of traditional Irish stuff comes on, of course, as you should. But is there any thought of you guys doing that at other times during the year? Because I like that stuff. I'd love to see more of that. Yeah, does that bring in people?
You know, one of the things we haven't done, which we've talked about, and I think we really need to do, is a halfway to Patty's Day, right?
Okay.
You know, the 6 months,
Yeah,
6 month mark,
we did that
and
once.
really do the Irish music and the heavy Irish thing, and we really need to. We haven't done it. Yeah,
that's a good idea. I hear that a lot of bars do have that kind of thing, like halfway to St.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And Mike, is this the place you brought me the delicious corned beef and cabbage that time?
No, it's down the street. Okay. The old the stop in. I've gone in there many times. St. Patty's Day. I go in there for the Irish breakfast anyway. I go in there anyway. But they have a good deal on corned beef and cabbage on St. Patty's Day. So at that time I brought it from there.
Yeah, because I go to the Grafton. The Grafton got St. Patty's Day.
The Grafton's great.
They do the Guinness stew, which is actually another good one.
Yeah.
We'll do a Guinness beef stew. Yeah, maybe once a month. It's on the specials.
Oh yeah, that's really good. I go to Molly's. Molly's in the city on 23rd. They own a bunch of bars. They got that on Mondays. They have the Guinness stew, and I wind up stumbling there after my shift.
Okay, so anything you want to say as far as the future? Any great announcements or anything happening? Any changes you want to talk about?
Hey, hit him with it, Dan.
All right. We are working on the first expansion of Donovan's since the early 80s. We're going to be extending 2 of our dining rooms. We're going to make our kitchen a little bit bigger first to be able to support the added room, but we're going to be adding probably 20 to 30 seats to the main dining room. And then we're going to be adding probably 30 or 40 seats to the library, which will allow us to start handling private parties of up to, 100, 120 people. So
we can never do a party over 60. It was, So,
that's actually good because a lot of people like to rent bars and just have the food catered like after a wedding or something or whatever.
It'll work,
Our private event schedule has really picked up. I mean, we're doing a ton of them every weekend. There's a couple of things going on, so we really do need the extra space to make it happen. So that's it's in the works right now. The contractors are already starting on the first phase of the project. It's a 5-phase effort, but we're rolling along.
So probably sometime 2026 that'll be rolled out.
Hopefully we can.
We're hoping for faster.
Yeah,
if we can. If we can, it's believe me. The dream is have it ready for the upcoming holiday season at the end of this year.
Yes, you can have the holiday parties.
But that's going to be a lot of work, and we're going to need a lot of things to fall into place. And dealing with the city is not exactly easy.
Never is.
Permits,
this and that, and this is just
This is a big one, man. Because I got to tell you, it's the first time I've been saying, we took over 12 years ago, and we don't stress out too much. We got a vision and it's working, and this is the first time I got nervous because the thing is, when we took over, everybody just asked us, please don't change anything, don't do, and I'm like, we're knocking the walls down now, I'm kind of like, Joe, we always give Joe the credit, man. You really put a beautiful place.
He designed the place,
and our contractors, I have all the faith in them, but it's getting me nervous that where you're knocking down a nice thing. We're gonna make it nicer, but I gotta admit, I'm like,
we promise it's still gonna be Donovan's.
Yeah,
still gonna be. It's gonna have that charm. It's gonna have that Irish feel. It's gonna be there.
You guys are old school. You would never go in a stupid direction like that.
This place looks pretty big from this picture. Look like you got.
It's a big place. It's a big place.
Yeah, it's just the way
it's deceiving outside.
It goes up, so the rooms aren't as big. If they were together, it would be then you could host 100 people.
Wow.
But,
it's going to be interesting. But you know what? We've made in the 12 years, we've made some big changes. In terms of taking out some of the cabinets and putting more modernizing with TVs. But everybody says we've been able to keep the charm. We've kept it Donovan with everything we've done. And that's our commitment. And we're both scared as shit about this, but that's our commitment.
Yeah, the little moves, they come and go, something's different here. And it's like, we put the TVs and this, that. But this one, they're going to go, holy shit. It's going to be a big one. Like, man, right? Like sorry, bro. The fireplace.
The fireplace.
Right.
Yeah, so like that's the big thing. What I'm saying is like, oh my God, we're gonna change that wall with the fireplace. So
You keeping the fireplace, or you?
Oh, yeah, we're keeping it.
We're actually going to upgrade it. That's the thing that's kind of cool. What we're talking about is, so now there's going to be tables behind it.
Around the
So
fireplace.
we're going to try to
You're going to open up behind it.
We're going to try to do a 360 fireplace where you can see it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you're really pushing it back there.
Yeah, we're going crazy.
Oh man!
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's two businesses around Donovan's. There's like an L behind it. So
Yeah.
the one behind us left, so we took over.
Oh, so you're taking that spot?
Yeah.
All right.
There's still somebody up on the other way. If he ever leaves, we'll see how we're doing. Hopefully, we go that way too. That's on the back burner. Yeah, but yeah, that one opened up, and we said, you know what? We were thinking of other businesses, and we said, you know what? Why go into another business? We need the room right now. The way well, it's hot right now. Let's do it. So
yeah. people need the bar because there's a bar in Long Island like that, Mulcahy's.
Mulcahy's.
Very small, and then they just kept expanding.
Absolutely.
Like every year, I go, it looked like they got big. I said, what did they do? It just gets bigger every year.
It's crazy how places are closing and we're expanding. We're blessed,
We're blessed. We have an unbelievable loyal following, our customers, and we have our team. We have
our staff is.
We'll put our team up against anybody's, whether it's our servers, our cooks, our bussers, our musicians. We'll put them up against.
Well-oiled machine. Everybody works together. Everybody loves each other. We always call it Donovan's family. If you work for us, the second we hire you, you're part of the family.
Part of the family.
Yeah.
The only two who don't know what they're doing is us.
Yeah. But fake it till you make it.
I've been doing that for 50
Now they're gonna know, Dan. You said it. If they want, they're in trouble.
All right, guys. So thank you, Dan Connor and Jimmy Jacs from Donovan's. Thank you for all the years of great times in that place that I've had. And, congratulations on winning Best Bar in Queens from the Chamber of Commerce. Everybody voted that in. So that's fantastic.
Thank them. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll be down. I think me and Rob are going to have to make a trip.
I'm going to get the steak instead of the burger. I'm going to get a steak.
Yeah, come on in, Rob.
We'll do that. Yep. Well, let me know when the Romanian steak comes back on the menu.
Yeah.
Yes. It's happening, buddy. No doubt.
Rob, what you do is you have the sliders as an appetizer, and then you have the steak.
That's it. You get a little burger in, and then
I got you covered.
That could be done. Drink a few pints of Guinness and drink some whiskey or tequila, whichever one.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, both of you, I'm going to ask you to hang on after the show. Don't hang up just yet. But what do we say at the end of every show, Rob?
We don't get drunk.
We get lumped up.
See you next time.